Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday again. And so, Dark Horse Comics here. We are back for another new comic book day rundown. It's been a minute. Thank you for your patience. Last week, we were actually participating in the virtual American Library Association convention for librarians and teachers and people in that kind of the bookosphere. So thank you if you joined us at the ALA annual conference online. It was fun chatting with folks. We're back though this week for a regular new comic book day rundown, back to show you the new releases out from Dark Horse Comics today at comic shops. And I am Kara. I'm your usual host here. Rex may be along at some point. Many people are familiar with my cat. He likes to join the streams and rub on my microphone. So stay tuned. But I'm excited to welcome one of my colleagues at Dark Horse today who hasn't been with us on New Comic Book Day for a minute. Maybe back all the way to the days when we were still doing this on Facebook Live.
Confirmed. Yeah, it's like 2017, I want to say. It's been like half a decade.
Right? Yeah, so forever ago. But I'm very excited to welcome back Kelly. Would you like to say hello and tell folks what you do at Dark Horse?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm really excited to be on the show today. And yeah, I work with Kara. We do all things marketing, and I mean like all things.
There are a lot of hats.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. But probably the most interesting thing that I do, which we'll talk about a little bit today, is I make a lot of our comic book trailers, which is in the sort of catalog of cool jobs that people get to do in the world is up there with probably in like the top 20 at least, I'd say, making comic book trailers. So
everybody loves a trailer. I'm actually always kind of astonished at how much people love trailers now, like for all things, movies, upcoming live action series. When there is not a trailer out for like a certain amount of time before a movie or series is released, is like all you hear about online anymore.
Do you remember there used to be, I want to say like a dedicated channel when we were kids that was just movie trailers? Do you remember that? Or maybe it was like an extension of the E Network or something like that. But I remember like watching that just continuously. That's probably where my earliest influence came from, was the trailer network. It's maybe one day I'll get to be on it.
But it's like FX5 or something. Trailer. Yeah. The trailer. Channel of trailers.
It's a good channel.
That'd be good too, like for short attention spans. Like I would just watch that.
Exactly.
Well, so we're going to talk, like Kelly said, we're going to talk about trailers in more detail today, actually. And we will talk about the one that you just watched, actually, at the top of the stream. We're going to touch on that in a moment when we get to the new releases, in fact. First, just before we launch into those, a few more stream details for everybody. Thanks again if you are watching us live right now on Twitch. We appreciate all of you who join us each week. Remember that you can ask us questions, rather, in the chat if you are live on Twitch right now. Ask us questions about the comics we're about to talk about. And when we get into the trailers, if you got questions for Kelly about her video production, drop those in the chat as well. And our moderators will let us know and we'll answer what we can. We also will have a giveaway. It's about to open momentarily when I press the button. You can win a copy of each of the single issues we will discuss today. The keyword is hashtag or pound sign Parasomnia. Parasomnia. But I put that in the chat. It's been announced in the chat. The giveaway is open. So enter that with the hashtag or pound symbol. The spelling now is in the chat so you can see it. And you'll see why that's the keyword in just a moment. But the giveaway is open. We will draw a winner near the end of the stream, so stick around and see if it's you. And with that, just a quick reminder that, like I said, everything we're going to talk about today is new at comic shops. ComicShopLocator.com is a website that can help you find comic shops near you if you need some help finding one in your area, if you're newer to comics maybe, or if you need one that can take online orders. There are a lot of sites that you can find through that network as well. Indiebound.org is also an aggregator for local bookstores. to help you find indie bookstores in your area, which carry all of our graphic novels and art books and things like that. I always like to ask our guests, and Kelly and I are in the same area, so we might have the same recommendations. But Kelly, do you have any local comic shops or online stores that you would like to shout out?
I mean, I love Bridge City Comics down on Mississippi Boulevard. Is it Boulevard Avenue? Doesn't matter. It's on Mississippi here in Portland.
Portland, yeah.
Yeah, great shop right next to an ice cream shop. Get your comics, get your ice cream, go take a walk, read.
Very
Sounds
important
like a great summer day.
considering the heat wave that we have just been experiencing.
Dude, too soon.
Wow.
I got the fan going.
Y'all, like,
it was
watching
crazy.
at home, it got up to like 116 degrees here, which is not normal for Portland.
It was hard.
No,
it was really hard. Yeah, we have like just a little AC unit here, and it barely cooled the living room to 91 degrees.
Good Lord.
With the AC. So, and if I didn't have that, I would not be here. I'd be a puddle.
Yeah. Yeah, we have like we don't have AC either, because like we were saying, this is not normal for here. A lot of folks don't have AC. We have good like ceiling fans throughout our house, and like these little units in a couple of rooms that can do cooling. And so between all of that, like, we were okay. But most of my like, the cats are so weird. They were still lying in the sunbeams. It's like over 100 degrees and they're still lying in the sunbeams.
They would.
Like, I don't know.
I think about like throughout most of history, they didn't have AC at all. Like, you would just have to go like huddle up in a cave or something. Like, there was no, so I'm like, I can deal with like a few days of being mildly uncomfortable since everybody that came before us did. That's how I feel about it.
Right.
It's my take on it.
I like heat. I like hot weather. I like summer. But I mean, this was extreme even for me. Like, I play soccer and we still had games. Fortunately, my game on Monday was canceled because that was the hottest day and we would have died. But yeah, anyway, we survived. Heat wave seems to be abating a little bit for now. So thoughts and prayers for the rest of the Pacific Northwest as we fire season now.
And major respect, seriously, for everybody that lives in a hot climate, and also everybody that doesn't have AC and just had to brave it on their own.
For real.
Amazing. People are strong.
It was nice to see people like coming together for each other too. Like, you know, like, come to my house if you don't have AC at yours, or setting up stations for folks that needed it. Yeah, just a lot of community outreach. So that was nice to see. Yeah. Anyway, heat wave aside, comic shops. Yeah,
comics.
in addition to Bridge City Comics, which I also love, that's a really good call out. We usually, I think every time we've shouted out Books with Pictures, that's another great local shop here. We also have Things from Another World, which has multiple locations, and they have a great website. So you can order from anywhere in the country or elsewhere. tfawtfa.com is their site. And like I said, comicshoplocator.com, indiebound.org. Super useful tools for finding more comic shops and bookstores in your area. I like to make sure to remind folks that, check bookstores too for all the books and graphic novels, because if you're having a hard time finding something at a comic shop, as much as we want you to shop there, bookstores are great resources too. And one more thing before we get into new releases, speaking of books, Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, Volume 2, manga, is now available. If you are a fan of the anime on Crunchyroll, or there's also a live action series in Japan, we have a special giveaway. If you haven't tried the manga, of course, is what influenced both of those, the anime and the live action series. And so we have a special giveaway of both the new volume of the manga and a cool like slipcase that goes over the book cover, and it depicts one of the actresses from the Japanese live action series of Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, provided to us, of course, by the great Carl Horn, manga editor extraordinaire at Dark Horse Comics. And so right now, that is a giveaway open on our Twitter. We're at Dark Horse Comics on Twitter, as well as pretty much everywhere on social media. You can enter to win those 2 items now through Friday. So don't delay. Enter by telling us your favorite or not your favorite, rather, who do you most identify with of the characters from Eizouken, which is a really cute little series. So just want to let folks know, giveaways open. It's on Twitter at Dark Horse Comics. Check it out. And also get the first 2 volumes of Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, the manga, at comic shops and bookstores now. And with that, let's get into the new releases this week. We have a new issue number 1, which Kelly's going to tell you about.
I got 2 words for you. Actually, no, it's more like 4 words because it's 2 people's names. Cullen Bunn, Andrea Mutti. Mutti? Is that how you say his name?
I think Mutti, but he's a
I got words I can't pronounce. Yeah. Incredible creators, a fantastic team up. I mean, even just like some of the art that you see in the trailer that was played beforehand is enough, I feel like, to just sell you on it. But basically, yeah, it's the story of a guy kind of caught between reality and dreams and fighting to, here, we'll read the description. After his son disappears, a broken down man braves the nightmarish dreamscape in order to find him and battle a ruthless cult that seeks to rule the land of dreams, and the barrier between realities starts to collapse. A lot going on in this series, and it's got some pretty beautiful like fight scenes. I don't want to say beautiful. Violence isn't that beautiful, but the way it's depicted,
the art is beautiful.
The art is beautiful. And yeah, Cullen Bunn is a master writer of all things horror and weirdness and alternate realities, and I just can't recommend this series enough. It's really, really fun.
It's so, yeah, like I'm really into it already, honestly, and I love horror, as folks who watch this frequently know by now. So yeah, Cullen's writing is amazing. The art is so atmospheric. We also have that beautiful variant cover by Raphael Albuquerque, which is very like Headless Horseman. I mean, the guy has a head, but still, it just reminds me of that sort of like Paul Revere's Ride or something, you know, like
yeah, like Paul Revere hanging out in Sleepy Hollow or something.
Yeah, exactly. Sleepy Hollow, yeah. So yeah, super new, like super atmospheric, new dark fantasy horror. So
yeah,
if you're a fan of
really cool
things, or just of Cullen Bunn, which like most of us are, hey,
for sure. In case you guys don't know, he's the writer of Harrow County, which is one of my all-time favorite series that we've ever made. I think it's incredible. And the covers for this series, all the covers for the series that I've seen so far are really, really cool, really fun. So.
I like this one where it kind of shows that duality, the like waking world and dreaming world, I guess.
Yeah. I kind of want to link them all together and see if they make like a continuous, I don't know, ideas. I have ideas.
Yeah, we'll see. Mm-hmm. If we make up some cool graphics, we'll share those with y'all. But yeah, so that is why the keyword for the giveaway today is Parasomnia. Use the hashtag or pound symbol to differentiate in case somebody has a question about it in chat, but just type that in chat. We'll count your entry and draw a winner near the end as a reminder, and you'll win copies of Parasomnia number 1, as well as the other single issues we're going to discuss today, which include Far Cry fans, a new Far Cry comic, Far Cry issue number 2, Rite of Passage. So this continues the story that started last month with the first issue, of course. This follows President Anton Castillo's, he's teaching his son Diego about some of the other villains from the Far Cry storyline. So each one of these 3 issues kind of features a different one of those villains. And in this issue, he is telling the tale. Let me make sure I tab over to the right thing. This one is telling the tale of Pagan Min, so the dictator. And he, of course, is featured on the cover here. Beautiful cover art for each of these by Matt Taylor. And the comic series itself is by Brian Edward Hill, with art by Geraldo Borges and colors by Michael Attia, who colors a lot of our comics, actually. But yeah, the art in these is just phenomenal. And big thanks to Ubisoft, who we're working with on many things right now, comics and art books, lots of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which you've seen on previous streams. And we're so excited that they're excited about these Far Cry comics, especially, leading into all that hype for the upcoming game. So yeah, thank you to Ubisoft for all their support. And the voice actors too from the game have been getting into this. I don't know if you've seen that, Kelly, but like especially for the first issue, the actor who plays one of the other villains was like super into the comic because it's cool to see yourself in a comic, like the character you play in a comic.
Yeah, I'm sure that's incredible. That's super cool. I love that cover too. Love the colors. All these covers that I've seen so far have been really cool.
Yeah. I love this brilliant, like bright, almost graffiti like
splashes of hue.
It's like one of those color runs where you throw the like powder around.
Super cool. All right. Are we doing?
Yeah, take it away. What we got next?
Next up, Everyone is Tulip is a new graphic novel that came out today that we're really excited about. It is from the creative team that brought you. Am I allowed to swear on here? Can I swear?
I mean, yeah, we're like PG-13.
Okay.
I mean, that happens. It'll happen sometimes.
Okay.
Sorry, kids.
Well, anyway, from the creative team of F Off Squad, the psychological exploration of the modern media frontier and the unique pitfalls that come with internet fame. It is the story of Becca, whose dream of fame seems to come true when an internet performance art video she shares goes viral overnight, but she quickly discovers the allure and danger of sudden stardom. So, you know, as you and I both know, Kara, the pitfalls of internet stardom.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Do I know about
But yeah, this book is really beautiful. I mean, the cover alone, as you can see, is pretty compelling. Actually, a similar color scheme to the Far Cry. So it's a nice little transition there, I feel like. Yeah, highly recommend this one. Worth checking out, and also, you know, kind of an interesting exploration of a unique problem that some face in these modern eras in which we live.
Yeah, this series, the book itself will be available more widely too in bookstores next month, but we definitely wanted to still highlight that it's in comic shops now. You can get it first at comic shops. The creative team has just been fantastic about doing all this promotion themselves. They've done a ton of podcasts. You can see it all. They're all very active on their social media, as you would expect for people behind a book like of this topic. I just wanted to highlight that today they're also doing a really cool promotion mainly on Instagram, but also on Twitter. They created this little image that's sort of like a paper doll almost of the main character, Becca or Tulip. And you can, the goal is to get each person to kind of create your own outfit for her to wear. So you sort of draw on top of the base image and share it in your Instagram stories. Tag your friends. If you tag Dark Horse, we might be sharing some throughout the day. And like I said, also on Twitter, but Instagram stories, check that out. And all three of these folks, especially Nicole and Dave, are super active online on their socials. So you should check it out and get lots of behind the scenes and see lots more cool art being shared today for Everyone is Tulip. And they've made some cool little video shorts too, which
they have, yeah.
Yeah. Really we'll kind of talk about that, I guess, more in a bit when we dive into trailers and all that. But yeah, super appreciate all the promotion that they've been doing for this book. And it's got a website, it's got everything. So check it out.
They're ready for their internet fame that's about to
like they know what's happening. They know how to do it. So I'm gonna switch it back to one more single issue for today. I am, as you may know, regular viewers, a big fan of The Witcher, the games, the series, the books, all of it. So we work with CD Projekt Red regularly on both Cyberpunk and especially The Witcher, all sorts of items. We have a new comic series, The Witcher Witch's Lament, began last month, and today we have issue number 2 out. This is once again by one of the writers at CD Projekt Red on The Witcher, so he knows the property very well, Bartosz Sztybar. He is a fantastic writer. He really knows Geralt, and he's exploring kind of like the other sides of Geralt, like the things you don't necessarily get to see or experience as much in the game, and kind of a deep dive into his character and how he responds to situations. So we have a kind of an all-star team too on this comic series. Vanessa Del Rey is the interior artist. She also is the main cover artist, as you see here. The colors are by the fantastic Jordi Belair, and letters by Eisner nominated Aditya Bidikar. You may know from many comics now, especially our new edition of Graffiti's Wall and Black Hammer, the series based on Barbalian, which is nominated for many Eisner Awards. P.S. So good. So yeah, Aditya's lettering is amazing. Everybody, this whole creative team is just fantastic. This particular mini series follows Geralt on a rescue mission, but he's being haunted by a witch who was burned at the stake. And was she fairly persecuted or not? I don't know. You'll have to read and find out. But
things are picking up.
Yes. The first issue covers were very graphic of the witch burning at the stake. So this week we have some nice alternatives, not as much fire. There's a variant by Stefan Keudel, which is just gorgeous. You can see Geralt's double swords and all these mysterious figures, just beautiful painted cover. And then we also have a variant for each issue in this series by Anato Finstark. And these are also just beautiful painterly covers. So whichever you like, you can get all three if you're a collector, or pick your favorite, but all available now at comic shops. The Witcher Witch's Lament #2. And reminder that WitcherCon is a new thing. It's happening July 9th. Stay tuned. We may have some other cool stuff being revealed throughout. And also, that reminds me, we did just yesterday announce a new Witcher statue. Really cool. It's like one of the most beautiful statues I have ever seen Dark Horse do. It's Geralt and Roach, his horse. So check that out, direct.darkhorse.com, or just our website. It's everywhere. It's beautiful. We got a cool video for it. We got everything.
Yeah, it's a stunning piece of work. I kind of feel like we should all get one since we work for Dark Horse and there's a horse in the statue. Everything horse related we should just get.
I love every opportunity for like horse content, horse jokes, Dark Horse. Love it. Yeah,
on board.
Yeah.
All right, and last but certainly not least, in comic shops today, we also have the Art of Arkham Horror. For those of you who are fans of the incredibly detailed, beautiful game, this is a must. As I'm sure many of you are familiar with the incredible art books that Dark Horse puts out on the regular. This is our newest one. We're super proud of it, and if you love the game, you must pick this up. Check it out. And I should be posting some previews to our website for it after this, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we'll definitely be hyping that up some more. That's another one that's comic shops today. All things being what they are, it'll be in bookstores and wide release next month. So we'll keep talking it up, reminding you. You can still pre-order from the bookshops, etc. But yeah, gorgeous book. Gorgeous
book, fun game, fun for all.
Yeah. I love it. I love Arkham Horror, so yeah. I've been very excited for this. We have a few books in our partnership with Asmodee and Fantasy Flight Games, and so this one though is the one I was most looking forward to because again, my weird horror thing. I like the horrors. So
I mean, anything Lovecraftian is probably going to be pretty sweet. That's the rule.
Yeah, we've got this gorgeous art. Like, even if you haven't played the game and you just like the kind of Cthulhu mythos, I think this book will have a lot to entertain you. I
mean, I've never played the game, but looking at the book makes me want to play the game. Actually, makes me kind of want to get into board games in general. So, just saying. It could open up a whole new world of experience for you.
I highly recommend it. And like Kelly said, we'll be posting some more previews. You can kind of peek inside the book and get a little taste and all that. So stay tuned at Dark Horse Comics on all the socials. That rounds out our new releases for this week, though, and lets us get into the reason I asked Kelly here today, especially, which is the cool aspect of her job that is making video trailers. And I mean, you do all kinds of other production work for us on all sorts of other video type enhancements, but we're going to talk about trailers. Do we want to mention the Parasomnia trailer first? since that was our feature.
I mean, that I didn't make it?
Right.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes we have creators make trailers too, which is fantastic, or they have them made.
Yeah.
Which is the case with Parasomnia.
Right. Yeah. I wish I could make a trailer for every new thing that we come out with, but unfortunately we make a lot of really great things and there's only so much time. So yeah, sometimes we have creators that will make their own trailers, which I always encourage and love when they do that. And yeah, Parasomnia was one of those they made on their own, and they did a great job. It showcases, I think it definitely sells the book really well, showcases the beautiful art and action sequences, and they've got some really great titles in there, and like just it's a great little piece. But I did not make it.
Yeah, we're really glad to have it. Like Kelly said, there's just unfortunately not enough time for us to do one for absolutely every book. So it's very helpful when sometimes creators join in, like we were saying with Everyone is Tulip as well, making little short teasers. The Goblin folks, the Goblin graphic novel for young adults that came out recently, which is really, really fun. That team has made some fantastic little videos. Thank you.
There's been a lot of good ones from Burger Books as well. I've made a few for her, which I love. I love working with her, but she also has some of her own made, and they're great too. So
Yeah, so Kelly, tell me, when did you start making trailers for Dark Horse? Like, what were some of the first ones that you did? Just throw it back.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working for Dark Horse happily for about 7 years at this point, and I started in 2014. 2014? That was 7 years ago. I can't do basic math. But anyway,
time anymore.
What is it? The very first one that I ever made was a real short little thing for the comic 8, Raphael Albuquerque comic, and I remember just being like, I went to film school and stuff. Like I wanted to be Paul Thomas Anderson is what I wanted to be when I was like, a kid. Wanted to be him, or make movies like him. And, life meanders and blah, blah, blah. I won't tell you my life story. But the point is, I got very lucky. I got hired by Dark Horse to work in marketing, not really I don't think the intention of me doing video specifically, but it was more like, hey, I've got some video expertise. Can I maybe help make a thing? And they were like, oh, well, we'll see how she does. And so, I made a little thing for 8, and then I think Neverboy might have been the one that I did after that. They were really short. It was just kind of like getting my sea legs basically. And then fast forward, 7 years, and I've made over 40 trailers now. Just like, which is crazy. There's a lot of trailers. And that's kind of how I got my start. It was a lot of just seeing what worked, what people responded to, what we could do better, but also sort of watching the industry at large and just seeing what other publishers were doing. And not only that, like what was going on in marketing in general. Like what makes a cool video? It doesn't have to be a trailer per se. Like what sells someone on a cool story? It's like just something I'm always trying to pay attention to. So yeah, I don't know. And then they just kept giving me more work to do. Here we are.
You are good at them.
I think I got, like out the gate, I was like okay at it, I think, but like you do something enough times and, if you like really care about it and want to get better at it, like you'll get better at it. And I think that's what happened with the trailers, to the point where like now, it's like this, like I love doing them. Like it's not like, to me, it's not just like we're selling a thing. Like it means a lot more to me. Like we're like, somebody wrote this and drew this and put their like heart and soul into this book, and like, it's my job. I mean, it's our job as marketers, but my job as the trailer person, I think, to like put that into as bite-sized amount as I can and show it in like a sort of different way. And it's almost like you ever had like somebody draw your portrait, you know, and you're
Not
like,
if I can avoid it.
yeah, I know. Like, it makes me think of like, you know, it's like if somebody draws your portrait and then they like show it to you, like it could either be like a Rembrandt or it could be like, you know, like Lisa Simpson in roller skates. You know, that's like a Simpsons deep cut. But
I love it. I love those Simpsons deep cuts.
And like, yeah, I don't know. I take it really seriously. I want to be able to reflect back not only to the fans, like here's what's really beautiful and cool and compelling about this book, but also reflect it back to the creators and be like, I see what, like, I see you, you know what I mean? Like, I see what you're doing. I'm on to you. No, I see what you're doing here. I think it's beautiful. Here's my like cover song for you of this work.
Well, and it's really cool, I think, for everyone to, everybody loves kind of an animated, we get asked a lot about, you know, motion comics, which were a thing that happened in the past more, but yeah, it's fun for people to see the comics actually kind of come to life and move on the screen, I guess. So can you walk us maybe through the process of putting a trailer together, like starting with storyboards? I know we have some images to show too, kind of how you put these things together.
Yeah. Excuse me. Well, I mean, there's so many different types of trailers, right? Like, I know like DC makes like these just amazing, like high budget ones where there's like real animation. Yeah. Like things are really, really animated. And they're beautiful and like super amazing. I kind of take a slightly more lo-fi approach, I guess, that I want the trailer I want it to move, but not move so much that it feels like you're watching animation. Like you know what I mean? Like it's a fine line. And sometimes if you try and animate something in a certain way, it's like a weird uncanny valley effect a little bit, you know, where it's kind of like, oh, it's a still drawing, but it's moving in a weird kind of way. And so I'm basically like, whenever I'm starting to storyboard out a comic, I'm just kind of thinking like, if this should move, how should it move in a way that's not going to distract or take somebody out of the experience? And so I guess, you know, obviously step one of planning a trailer is, you know, reading what we have. Sometimes we only have like one issue. Sometimes, and if I'm really lucky, sometimes we'll have a whole finished book and I can just get the full experience. And so I treat it like I would treat, it's going to sound kind of funny, but like I treat making these trailers like I would if I was like practicing for a big exam or something, where like I read it and then I got to like sleep on it. And then I got to come back and like read it again and then like put it away. I'm a big believer in like the creative process of there being like, there's just like always something going on in the background of our minds where we're like, even if we're not like thinking about it directly, like we're working it out. And so every time I kind of come back to it, you know, and put like a little work in to being like, okay, this is the shot that we should, this is the panel that we should start with, or this is a certain piece of dialogue will like stand out to me. And I'll be like, that's something that I definitely want to put in there. And I'll have maybe 2, 3, or 4 like either key pieces of art or key lines of dialogue or something, or narration. And once I have those as my like anchor points, I can start to sort of build it out from there. Like, yeah, and then it's just a matter of kind of filling in the blanks. But if I have time, which is rare, but if I do have like a decent amount of time from the time I get to read the thing for the first time until it's due, like ideally, this might sound like crazy, but like ideally like a couple months, if I'm lucky, I can slowly, methodically start plotting out these sort of how it's going to go. And then, so then I put together like a storyboard basically where I show exactly like, these are the panels I want to use. Here's how they're going to move in space. Here's any narration. If we have any narration, it'll be noted in there. Obviously there'll be some sort of music involved. And then I will send that storyboard to the editor of the comic and the creator of the comic as well. And I'll be like, what do you think? They're going on very little information at this point. So I'm just like, trust me, it's going to be great. And then they'll say, sure. And then from that point, I gather up all the materials and I send that to our amazing freelance production company here in town. They're called Two Penguins Productions. Hey, shout out. We've been working with them for a few years now. And they are a fantastic little production company here in town. They do all kinds of stuff, but for what they do for us, it's very specialized, where it's basically, I'm just like, just follow my directions. Just follow the very specific thing. And they put it together and they animate everything. And then they send me a draft. I might send them some notes, little corrections here and there. And then once I get that back, then I can start making music, which is a whole other topic.
People ask about the music a lot. Whenever we share trailers, especially the trailers that you have made, the music that people love to know who did it. And yeah, just always questions about it. Do you want to talk like a little bit about your process, or does it differ quite a bit from trailer to trailer?
I mean, it's pretty much, I mean, all the music is going to be different for sure, for each trailer. For, Aliens Dead Orbit, it wasn't even like actual music. It was just like crazy synth sounds. There's my co-composer, his name's Kerry Sigler. He is a very, very talented musician. Just one of these people where I can be like, I need a sound that sounds like a tambourine, like underwater, but it's like kind of shiny. And he'll be like, I got it. And then he'll like, bloop, 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 and just be able to make the thing. This was a
picture of him working.
Yeah, he's actually, so you can't really see it, but on his screen, that's the Aliens Dead Orbit trailer that we're working on. This is the first one that we ever did. And it was just one of those things where I was like, I need help with this. And he's like, I've got all this stuff. And I'm like, well, you want to try doing the thing? And he's like, okay. So we did this in like one night. Wow. And it was so much fun because making the trailers is such a solitary thing. It's like, it's just me making all the stuff and like maybe sending notes, but like collaborating with somebody is the most fun. And so this was the first time that we worked together, and we've been working together pretty much ever since, except for, when we had to go into quarantine and all that, right. We couldn't hang out. Yeah. There's I'm like pointing at the screen. Yeah. So that was kind of like a big breakthrough, that trailer. And then, he's done music with me ever since. Really, we did, what else? Done Invisible Kingdom, Fight Club 3, I think. He also did one for the, what was it? The Super Mario Brothers. Oh my gosh. I'm blanking now.
The Encyclopedia?
No, the other one. Kingdom something.
Oh, gosh, yeah, we've had so many Nintendo books.
It's like a blur. Anyway, he did that one. X-Ray Robot as well, which is like the best. Oh, also Sherlock Frankenstein. That was like another one where it was like one of my favorite music collaborations that we did together.
Oh yeah, really I remember that one.
That one had like a kind of a Wild West kind of sound to it, like Wild West meets Videodrome. Kind of.
Love it.
Yeah.
So we're talking about all these videos. We're going to show you some because we have some ready to also, just run through here. I know folks watching at home, you've seen some of these before because we run them before and after our streams usually. But I also just want to remind folks that you can watch all of our trailers whenever you want, like the trailer channel on our YouTube channel. Actually, we're Dark Horse Comics on YouTube as well, of course. And it's where we post all the VODs from Twitch. But it's also, we have a whole playlist of our trailers on there, so you can watch, pick and choose. You can watch them all in one go. I mean, whatever you want to do. But so we have a lot of the ones you just mentioned, Kelly. Do we want to maybe roll the Aliens Dead Orbit?
Oh, actually, do we have Dead Orbit? If we have Dead Orbit, let's totally roll it. but I'll just real quickly explain what we're looking at right here with
Yes,
this.
let us discuss these.
This is just another example of like when I go to Carrie and I'm just like, so I need a thing. And sometimes sometimes I'm really good at articulating what I'm like feeling or thinking. And sometimes I don't know how to do it. It just depends on the day, I guess. And so for X-Ray Robot, I had an idea of just motion and words. And I drew this weird thing out where it's just like, it's kind of jagged and weird in the beginning. And then it kind of all flows together and synergizes, but it's all watery and dreary underneath, dreamy. And we have this big moment of like expanse, and it's like this big breakthrough, and then it all kind of resolves. And I just gave him the drawing, and like that's, I guess, the mark of like a good collaborator, where you can be like, here's kind of what I'm thinking. Can you interpret this in a different way? And he was like, sure. And then again, it was this. So anyway, we're going to show you that trailer and just check out the music. It's pretty great.
I also just dropped the link in the chat for the YouTube trailer playlist in case anybody wants to go watch that anytime.
It's good. It's good.
I still love this X-Ray Robot image, by the way, because it's like a treasure map. It's
weird. I think that he was like dialing in sounds as I was drawing this too, because I don't know. It was a funny day. I was like, I don't know what I want. Yeah. So, but then there's other things like, Norse mythology is another example of a trailer where I was working on that one right when we had to go into lockdown. And, it's obviously, like working on a trailer for Neil Gaiman, who, like I grew up reading Neil Gaiman's stuff. Like it was so amazing to be able to be working on that. But anyway, sorry, one second. So I was working on that. We went into lockdown, and then I was like, well, I got to make this music for this trailer that means so much to me. And I spent like the whole weekend, I remember, just like pouring my heart into this like big orchestral sounding score for this trailer that, meant so much to me. And I don't know, the end result was pretty cool. It was a little scary though, doing it on my own, not being able to work with my co-composer, but yeah. Anyway, we should pause and show people all this stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah, we got some trailers to show you.
Let's watch.
I love that trailer.
It's fun.
Been a minute since I watched it, but nice work.
It's a fun one. Yeah. And then I've done so many, but the ones that stand out, one that stands out in particular that will always be very near and dear to my heart is the trailer that we did for Count Crowley, Reluctant Midnight Monster Hunter. with the amazing David Desmalchin. Yeah,
I mean,
that one.
Polka Dot Man, for example.
Yeah. This was
Squad.
pre polka dots. This was before he traded in his cloak for the polka dots. Although I feel like he still has the cloak. So
Yeah, I'm sure he does. David's amazing.
Yeah.
He's been in Ant-Man and the Wasp. He's in Suicide Squad. He's going to be in Dune.
Yeah.
Very excited for his rising star. But
well, yeah, and so it was like, yeah, like no pressure for me when when we first started talking about this. Yeah, so that trailer, which we'll show you in just a second, is directed by Colin Shifley, who made some incredible feature films with David, and of course David having worked with people like Christopher Nolan and stuff like that. I had a very deep case of imposter syndrome when we first started working on this together, but this was a really fantastic example of what can be done when you have a small team of people who really believe in what they're doing and all have like lots of different creative ideas that kind of come together to form something that would not have been what it ended up being had one single person not been in the mix there. We had an amazing makeup artist. We had a brilliant cinematographer. We have an incredible narrator. And then of course, David as Dr. Fearless in this trailer. So yeah, this one was great. Should we show you? You guys want to see it?
Let's watch it.
Let's watch it now.
It's Friday night. Lock your doors up tight. Come down into the deadly lair. Frightening things are everywhere. Face your fears and gather near. The Dr. Fearless Show is here.
Good evening, boils and ghouls. Whatever you are, welcome to the friendly confines of the Doctor's laboratory. I'm so grateful you've braved the perils of the witching hour to join us for tonight's special presentation.
Where's the film? There's no film in here. What is this? There's a magazine in here. Oh, sorry. Okay. Mr. Mortimer has informed me that tonight's peculiar presentation will not in fact be a story told to celluloid, but rather it is the terrifying tale of a woman who discovers what we, the faithful, have always known. That monsters are real. They walk among us, and they manipulate the media with diabolical and menacing means. She may just save the world if she can stay sober long enough. She's Beloit, Missouri, KSKB TV's very own Jerry Bartman. Count Crowley, reluctant midnight monster hunter. All right, guys, it's good. Have a good weekend. We got some plans. We're gonna jet ski at the Ozarks. Yeah, Brian's got a jet ski. Okay, yeah, I'll see you guys. Thanks.
I love it. And I just want to note that like all of the props that you see in that trailer, they were all David's. Like he obviously, like Halloween Machine Desmalchin had all of that stuff already. So
it's like what I aspire to, honestly. Halloween is my favorite, and I envy his collection.
It was great. Yeah. And I mean, yes, Colin directed that. I edited it, and the skull wipes and all that stuff. And I did the music along with Carrie. Here's some behind the scenes things that no one's ever seen, actually. So that's our director of photography, Bungani. have a hard time saying his name. I'm bad at names. He was there. I think he's playing with the fog machine there.
Like you do.
And there's Cullen. Yeah, there he is. And there's Cullen in the background there.
Like a ghost.
We shot at the Bob Baker Marionette Theater in Los Angeles, and
oh, cool.
There's a marionette, a vampire marionette that you see in the trailer, and that thing was just there. Like, we weren't like, hey, do you have any like cool vampire stuff? There he is. He was just there. It was this like serendipitous horror moment where it was just like, can we get a shot of the vampire holding the comic and like put it in the video? It was amazing. It was an amazing place to shoot.
How tall is that marionette? Like
big.
Feet? Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably like 4 feet.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's got its own little mini coffin and everything. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, everything that they had there was like top notch. I mean, it's this huge, theater that's known for incredible marionette tree, whatever the words are. Yeah.
Yes, that works. Yeah, this trailer is so fun. We've had this up on our, like, not this necessarily. We have a lot of different little videos because you guys actually shot quite a lot, and then we sort of cut it down into a few different videos. So we have one that's been on our channel for a while here on Twitch, so you can enjoy it. More behind the scenes. Tell me more. This is like
there's Cullen and Bangami looking at footage that they were shooting of the staircase that you see in the beginning of the trailer.
Is the theater supposed to be haunted itself?
You better believe it. I think they were renovating it when we were there. David getting his makeup done. Kelly Goldsack is the incredible makeup artist who does all the Dr. Fearless makeup. David's so stoked. Yeah, this was like one of the best days of my life. It was, obviously, as you can see, me and my buddy there. So much fun.
Super cool.
Yeah, and I mean, like it turned out really magically, and yeah, we're all super proud of it. I still pinch myself every time I watch it. Like, I get to make that with those amazingly talented people. So
it's so great to have creators on board to do things like this. I mean, even if they're not acting in it, like David's kind of a special case.
Yeah.
As we were saying before, it's just so helpful to everyone to, not just us, but like for the creators themselves, like getting the word out into the world, for folks watching these later, like to have creators be involved and like really bring the heart and soul that they have for their books into these trailers too.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a dream come true. And I love, I like I said, making these trailers is kind of a solitary gig, in the sense that, I'm mostly working by myself and nobody really sees the full thing until it's done. I really have to be like, no, trust me, it's going to be great. Like once it's done. And so being able to run ideas past David and Cullen while I'm editing the thing, and like they come back and like I had some ideas for that trailer that like in retrospect would not have been good, and they were like, and I think about it later and I'm like, yeah, they were right. Like, it's great to collaborate. I love collaborating. I wish I did more of it, but whatever. Yeah, it's all good.
Each one, like you're saying, is a little different. So these turned out great, and that process worked for these. I've only been like tangentially involved in a couple, like the Fear Case one, but that was a fun process too. Getting back in the studio, do a little recording for that. That was fun.
Oh yeah, I wish we should do this again so we can talk more about Fear Case.
Yeah,
and like all of that stuff. Really, like there's so many.
We have so many more trailers and like so much more Kelly could run us through. Yeah, we'll plan to do more deep dives like this into those coming up, and we'll roll some more trailers at the end of the stream today too. We do have to wrap up because as usual we kind of are at our usual time for our streams to end, but thank you everybody for watching along today. I hope you enjoyed, learned something a little new about the making of all of our comic book trailers that Kelly does and others as well, helping us out on the video front. Reminder that everything we talked about today is available now at comic shops, including Count Crowley and X-Ray Robot, actually. Comic shops and bookstores. Count Crowley, Midnight Monster Hunter is a really fun horror host-themed comic. David Desmalchin, who we're talking about, is the writer. We also have X-Ray Robot was nominated for an Eisner. Hey, there's Count Crowley, like a mini. Yeah, X-Ray Robot is by Michael Allred with colors by Laura Allred, and Laura was nominated for an Eisner for best coloring for that and for the amazing Bowie book they did, by the way, which is not Dark Horse, but it's very good.
Really good.
And I'm going to draw a winner in our giveaway real quick. Let us draw entrant. Hey, it's our buddy Dan, Fraz Dan TN. Congrats. You win. A regular viewer, thanks again for tuning in. And yeah, just as usual, send us the whisper, the email. I think you've got the email address, but if you don't, send us a whisper here on Twitch, private message, and we will get in touch about your prize shipping. So congrats. And that brings us to the end today. Like I said, comic shops, bookstores for everything we discussed. And thank you again to Kelly for taking the time to chat about comics and trailers, especially. We'll have you back sometime soon.
Thanks, you guys. This was fun.
See you next time.
Bye.
This case goes back generations. Every agent who's tried to solve it has crashed and burned. The case is actually a case, or a box. A box so valuable that wars have been fought over it. Countless people have been murdered to obtain it. Everywhere it goes, death and destruction follow. If you have the case, you must give it to the person you hate the most. Otherwise, the person you love the most will take possession. If you open it, you die. You have 3 days.